Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our Lenten devotions. Today, we're going to explore what our treasure is. And that's something that it's a term that the Bible uses, and I want to shed a little bit of light on it because the Bible talks about treasures in our hearts, and the Bible paints a picture of a battle between treasures in our hearts. And how does that work itself out? Well, these are kind of metaphors, and these treasures, our heart is trying to decide which is more valuable, the treasure of the world or the treasure of God Himself. And whatever treasure it is that captures our heart, whatever captures our imagination and our interest, and that we dwell on with our thoughts all the time, that is the one that will control our life. Every person is a treasure seeker of some kind, in that we are looking for something of value to provide life to us, to give us a new sense of life, or if our lives are stale, maybe just change our lives in some way that's positive. Jesus tells a story in Matthew 13, and he says, "The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure in a hidden field, which a man covered up." So he was out digging, and he finds his treasure. Presumably, it's not his field because he's out there working as a day laborer, and he finds this treasure and he covers it up. And then Jesus says, and then in his joy, he goes and he sells everything that he has to buy that field. Now, when he gets it, he then has the treasure all to himself. It's his treasure. He bought the field, so the treasure belongs to him. And that's the story that he tells. Doesn't that sound good, to be able to give everything for something? I think we all want to be that guy somehow, where we find something that's so worthwhile, we're just willing to give up anything to get it because it's worth that much. We all want to have some kind of goal, and we all give ourselves to all kinds of different things, whether that be success or achievement, building skills, whatever it is. That's what it turns out we're living for. And the question I want to look through today as we consider this treasure is, what are you living for? What am I living for? What is it that gives us joy? What is it that we are willing to sacrifice relationships for, our time, our money? That is where our treasure is. If we're willing to give up those things, that is what the treasure of our heart is. And so this morning, I'd ask you to consider, how does the way you spend your time or your money or your energy reveal what it is that you truly treasure? Because we don't spend money on something unless we're really sold on it. We don't spend our time unless it's really valuable. We don't spend our energy. We got limited amounts of energy. We're not all 2 and 3-year-olds running around with unlimited energy, and we have to give them to something. And I would encourage you to think about the fact that those things that we give our time to, that we give our energy to, that's where your treasure is. Jesus says in Matthew 16, he says, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. For what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and yet forfeits his life? Or what should a man give in return for his life? For the Son of Man is going to come with his angels and the glory of the Father, and he will repay each person according to what he has done. So truly I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." In part, Jesus did in fact fulfill this, but he's still calling us to reflect on ourselves, reflect on our hearts, and see where is our treasure. He says, are we spending our time? Are we spending our money? Are we spending our energy for something that really matters? And that's the question that I want to leave you with. How do you spend your time? How do you spend your money? And is that truly the treasure of your heart? Is that right for that to be the treasure of your heart? Consider these things today as you pray and think through God's word.